Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. It's our Women's Advanced Bible Study night, the 9th of May, 2024. Okay, we'll be reading Lamentations, the book of Lamentations, reading that and breaking it down. Okay, you can go to our YouTube channel, The Prophets of Awakening, and check out our videos. We have over 900 or so videos uh, for anybody that comes to the channel seeking for information. These videos will connect dots for you and lead you to the truth of the Holy Scriptures. If you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. Okay. And for those that don't know, this is a non-Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh being the Old Testament, the so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of Old Testament that was given to Moses by our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts, and all that he's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. Shalom and welcome to the channel. Welcome to our Women's Advanced Bible Study. We're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, a prayer, we read the Psalms. We got a woman's health moment. Then we do some current events, some need to know information. Then we open it up for some Q&A and some dialogue. Then we go into our topic, which is we'll be reading out of the book of Lamentation. Okay. So with that being said, this moment of silence is for the Lord of hosts and all that he's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. Okay. Oh Lord, we come before thee at this hour, praising you and honoring you because of your position, both in heaven and upon the earth, the position in which the Creator Yahweh have given unto thee. And through your spirit and counsel, O Lord, we have awakened. We have awakened to know who we are as a people and who you are as our Savior and our Redeemer. We are thankful for all that you have done, and we are eagerly searching out your scriptures that we may be at the right place at the right time upon your arrival here on this planet. Lord, I pray that the people have upon us in spirit and in truth. And we love you and we seek you daily, O Lord. There's none else besides thee to redeem us. We see you in the affairs of the world, and we faithfully await your deliverance. Peace be unto you. Okay. I'm going to read a psalm.
Shalom, everyone. I will be reading Psalms 111. Praise ye the Lord. I will praise the Lord with my whole heart, in the assembly of the upright and in the congregation. The works of the Lord are great, sought out of all them that have pleasure therein. His work is honorable and glorious, and his righteousness endureth forever. He hath made his wonderful works to be remembered. The Lord is gracious and full of compassion. He hath given meat unto them that fear him. He will ever be mindful of his covenant. He hath showed his people the power of his works, that he may give them the heritage of the heathen. The works of his hands are verity and judgment. All his commandments are sure. They stand fast forever and ever, and are done in truth and uprightness. He sent redemption unto his people. He hath commanded his covenant forever. Holy and reverend is his name. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever. That was Psalms 111. Shalom.
Okay. He says, praise the Lord for his care. So we knowing who the Lord is. This Lord of hosts, our Redeemer. I think a question came up a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week or so ago, about are we supposed to eat meat, right? We see right here in verse 5, he have given meat unto them that fear him, and he will be ever mindful of his covenant. So when you say, well, is he talking about meat? When you go to the temple, when they're making the sacrifices, it's required of the Levites uh, when they are preparing the sacrifice, whether it's a lamb or cow or whatever, it's a part of that animal that belonged to them, and it's a part of it that belonged to him. And then once it's cooked on the fire and all that, it's uh, they have 3 days to eat it. After those 3 days, it becomes contaminated. So you got to go back to Adam when he sacrificed the ram, took the skins and clothed him and Eve. So they doing it in the temple, and they ate the meat when they made the sacrifice with Adam and Eve. When Abraham sacrificed and when he came into the land of Canaan, part of that sacrifice for him. And like I said, the coil, the intestines, and certain parts of the animal belong to him. That's what's burned on the fire. Some of it is cooked and eaten by the Israelites, according to what's going on. So I just thought when I started, I'll deal with it right there. Okay. Anybody else got any questions, comments about that? Okay. We got our women's health moment.
Yes, sir. Shalom, everyone. Please note that the information that is shared is intended for general, informational, and educational purposes only and is not medical advice or recommended treatment. Tonight's discussion is on the importance of detoxing the body. Do you ever feel like your body is not functioning at its best? Do you often feel sluggish or tired, suffer from bloating or indigestion, or struggle to maintain a healthy weight? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then it may be time to consider giving your body a detox. What is detoxing and how does it work? Detoxing is the process of removing toxins from the body, which can accumulate due to a variety of factors, including diet, environmental pollution, and stress. These toxins can build up over time and lead to a range of health issues such as digestive problems, allergies, and skin issues. The goal of detoxing is to restore your body's natural balance by eliminating harmful substances and improving its ability to remove toxins itself. There are many ways to detox, including fasting, juicing, and taking supplements. Some people also choose to incorporate specific foods into their diet that are known to support the body's natural detoxification process, such as leafy greens, beets, and garlic. Detoxing is an important step towards a healthier lifestyle. By removing toxins from your body, you give your organs the chance to rest and recharge. Detoxing can also lead to improved digestion and increased energy levels, which can help you feel more focused and productive throughout the day. Additionally, detoxing can help to improve your immune system and reduce inflammation in the body, leading to a reduced risk of chronic diseases such as arthritis and cancer. Another benefit of detoxing is that it can improve your skin health. When your body is overloaded with toxin, it can show up on your skin in the form of acne, rashes, and other skin irritations. By removing these toxins, you can achieve clearer, healthier looking skin. Detoxing can also help to reduce the appearance of cellulite and promote a more youthful, radiant complexion. Detoxing can also have a positive impact on your mental health. When your body is weighed down with toxins, it can lead to feelings of fatigue, brain fog, and even depression. By removing these toxins, you can experience improved mental clarity, increased focus, and a more positive outlook on life. Additionally, many detox programs incorporate mindfulness practices such as meditation and yoga, which can help to reduce stress and promote overall well being. Our immune system plays a critical role in protecting our bodies from infections and diseases. During a detox, the body is given the chance to eliminate harmful toxins and improve its natural ability to fight off infections. This is because when our organs are not overwhelmed by toxins, they can better focus on performing their essential functions, such as fighting off viruses and bacteria. Toxins can come from a variety of sources, including processed foods, alcohol, smoking, and pollution. When these toxins accumulate in the body, they can lead, to a range of health issues. The bottom line is that detoxing your body is an important step towards better health and well being. By removing toxins from your body and improving its natural ability to eliminate harmful substances, you can experience improved digestion, increased energy levels, and a reduced risk of chronic diseases. Which, when selecting a detox program, it is important to choose one that is right for your individual needs and goals, and to maintain healthy habits after completing the program to ensure the best possible outcomes. Tonight, I'm going to read Jeremiah chapter 33, verses 6 through 9, the abundance of peace and truth. Verse 6, behold, I will bring it health and cure, and I will cure them and will reveal unto them the abundance of peace and truth. And I will cause the captivity of Judah and the captivity of Israel to return, and will build them as at the first. Verse 8, and I will cleanse them from all their iniquity, whereby they have sinned against me. And I will pardon all their iniquities, whereby they have sinned, and whereby they have transgressed against me. And it shall be to me a name of joy, a praise and an honor before all the nations of the earth, which shall hear all the good that I do unto them. And they shall fear and tremble for all the goodness and for all the prosperity that I procure unto it. Tonight's discussion was on the importance of detoxing the body, and I read Jeremiah chapter 33, verses 6 through 9, the abundance of peace and truth. Shalom, everyone.
Okay, appreciate that information. Okay, we're gonna go to our current events. The first one is I don't know if anybody know, but Israel launched another ground offensive, and the UN is sending out a warning to them. So we play this.
Everyone, the Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs reports that as of last night, some 80,000 people have been displaced from Rafah since Tuesday, when the Israeli military's ground operation there began. Most of those displaced people are seeking safety in Khan Yunis and Deir al-Balah. These areas lack the basic services needed to support civilians who need food, shelter, and healthcare. No humanitarian assistance or the fuel to power our aid operations has been able to enter through the Rafah crossing in recent days. The World Food Programme reports that its main warehouse in Gaza is now inaccessible. It says that only one bakery is still working and that supplies of food and fuel are running out. Without them, WFP says its operations will come to a standstill. The UN Relief and Works Agency in Gaza says that some hospitals will start shutting down their generators in 3 days if we don't get fuel in. UNRWA says that as of today, its facilities are down to almost no fuel, rationing the small amount that is still in place in Gaza. As we told you yesterday, we continue to engage with all involved on the resumption of the entry of goods, including fuel, and so that we can again begin managing incoming supplies. Yesterday, OCHA, alongside UNRWA, the UN Mine Action Service, and the UN Department of Safety and Security, were at the Kerem Shalom and Rafah crossings to assess the security situation. The area is highly militarized, making it impossible for organizations to distribute at the scale they previously did. The situation remains extremely fluid, and we continue to confront a range of challenges and amid active hostilities. Meanwhile, debris on the roads has made these routes impassable for the time being. We're exploring alternative solutions, including use of the fence road or other routes. The daily exchanges of fire across the blue line are deeply concerning, profoundly impacting towns and villages on both sides. Many people have been displaced, injured, and killed, including today. The United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon is working continuously to decrease tensions with hundreds of daily activities aimed at de-escalating situations and assisting local communities within its mandate. The ultimate solution can only be political and diplomatic. We urge all parties to reaffirm their commitment to the cessation of hostilities and to upholding their obligation under Resolution 1701. Do we have any questions? Yes, Edie.
Thank you, Farhan. On Gaza, can you give us some more granular details on what kind of negotiations are taking place to get aid into Gaza? And also, some NGOs say that the Israelis have actually intensified fighting and attacks in Rafah. And can you give us any update on what UN staff there are saying about what's going on specifically in Rafah?
Okay, on your second question, yes, I was in touch with someone who's on the ground in Rafah just over the past hour, who talked about how there has been not ground operations nearby, but shelling nearby in different parts of Rafah. That is what has been leading to the displacement of people. I said, just as you were coming in, that something on the order of 80,000 people have left Rafah for surrounding areas. At this stage, that number is increasing by the hour, and we could be close to about 100,000 by now. So there's a lot of worry, there's a lot of tension, and yes, there have been different strikes in and around that area. Regarding your first question, I mean, we've made clear what our points are in terms of the problems having to do with fighting in the area, the bad condition of roads, the difficulties we're encountering simply trying to get aid. One of the things that's important to point out is that what we are reiterating to the parties is that their obligation to facilitate humanitarian aid doesn't end at the border or at the drop-off zone. That their responsibility continues because aid has to safely reach the people who need it. So simply dropping it off at a place is not sufficient. It's certainly not sufficient, for example, for our truck drivers who are operating under extremely tense circumstances and unsafe circumstances as they try to load trucks and get them to other places. And of course, for us as well, there's the added problem of the lack of fuel necessary to actually go to different locations throughout Gaza.
And just as a follow-up on the U.S. pier, there's been an announcement from Cyprus that the ship has sailed with aid, and that it's apparently going to the U.S. pier. Has any agreement been reached between the United Nations and the United States on UN involvement in distribution of aid?
We are continuing those discussions, so those are ongoing. We hope to be ready whenever aid arrives at the pier, but certainly the World Food Programme stands ready to distribute aid if and when you have a drop-off of aid at the pier, and once there's an agreement on how it will travel.
And am I right in assuming that that aid, any aid, could not be distributed at this moment because of the conditions in Gaza?
We're trying as best as we can to deliver aid. We're hopeful that in the next day or so we can get actually fuel coming in through one of the crossing points, but we're not at that point yet. Obviously, there's different things we need, with security and fuel now being at the top of our concerns. But we are working with the relevant authorities, and we'll try to get things moving as quickly as we can. Ultimately, the people who need our help, they can't wait.
Okay, anybody have any comments on that?
Shalom, everyone.
Okay.
Today, I saw on the news at CNN that they had interview with President Joe Biden, and he said he was going to stop sending the bombs and artillery shells to Israel if they launch a major um, invasion on Rafah. And
Right.
he admit that he knew that they were using it to kill the people in Gaza. So now he's saying that he's going to, not send the bombs, but what he thought when he sent it the first time, what were they going to do with them? They were going to target every little area that they could. So he didn't
Right.
have a stipulation on it. So now he's saying he's not going to send any more bombs. But what about the food and, like they're talking about, the fuel that needs to go? And all these ships are stopping. Who's stopping these ships from coming in to supply these people with the help they need? So he's playing two sides of the fence, I think.
Right. That's what I was saying about how they've been doing this. But once you see it, you see it all over the place. But they're saying one thing, but their agenda is they want, like you said, I played the video where he said all through his since he's been a politician that he's a Zionist. He 100% behind Israel. That's his stance. But he keep on trying to throw everybody off by trying to make it look like he's resisting Israel. But the whole time he going right along with the program by his actions. Everything he's doing, he's 100% behind. But he want to try to make us think that he's not. The same way I showed you with Obama. So, that's been played out. We see all the protesting going on all over the world at all these colleges against it. So we have no other choice but to try to play that role as if he's resisting them, but he's not. Okay. Anybody else have any comments on that? So this also is going on in Israel too. I don't know if anybody paid attention to that. To this right here, but check it out.
Okay. The Israelis have announced several times that Kerem Shalom is open now. You say it's highly militarized. Can you give some details on what that means?
Well,
the UN can't use it yet, or what?
One of the worst storms they've seen for years, with high winds and snow from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem to the northern border.
And up to 50 centimeters in the Israeli capital. Most of the schools and the public institutions have already been shut, really sounding the alarm bells about what this upcoming hurricane season could become.
Of course, tomorrow is the official start of the hurricane season. Where do we look for development this time of the year?
The Israelites are about to experience a 1-2 tropical storm punch that it has not been seen in nearly 75 years, according to a local meteorologist. Tropical storm, not as strong as expected, dumped needed rain on areas east and south of Jerusalem, while the city itself slogged through steady rain for half a day.
Do you really want to make your holiday special? Tanzania has got so much to offer, from the famous Serengeti National Park.
That was Thursday. Today, Friday, hurricane, just upgraded to Category 4, packing sustained winds of 145 mph and gusts up to 160 miles per hour, is set to make landfall near Jerusalem soon. The storm is expected to reach the Holy Land by Saturday evening. Old city residents are seeking refuge anxiously, fearing the unknown. The calmness we once experienced has been overshadowed by a disturbing anticipation of what's to come. What's truly causing this disorder, and how will it impact the residents of Jerusalem? Let's venture into the heart of the city to find some explanations. We're delving deeply into the mysteries surrounding this revered place. Come along as we explore to uncover the truth behind this extraordinary phenomenon. And remember to subscribe for updates on our latest videos. Beloved brethren, heed this urgent call to prepare for unexpected trials. Just as coastal dwellers anticipate the raging fury of hurricanes, we must be vigilant for any signs of impending danger. Evacuation, though daunting, is a necessary recourse when faced with the wrath of nature. Those who disregard evacuation orders not only imperil themselves, but also place undue burden on our valiant first responders. Remember, the aftermath of such calamities can bring prolonged suffering and perilous conditions. Let us therefore prioritize safety and heed the warnings, for it is better to flee the storm's path than to endure its unforgiving aftermath. After the latest hurricane, Israelites became far more sensitive to these mammoth storms. Although only a few each year make landfall, when they do, they make a terrific mess and cause considerable injuries and devastation. It reached $25 to $30 billion in damages, an exceptionally low figure over which experts still shake their heads in wonder. The Galveston hurricane of 1900 killed 6,000 to 8,000 people, the most by a hurricane in Israel history. In 1970, a cyclone that hit East Turkey and Syria made at least 200,000 homeless, some say 500,000, and another 100,000 were reported missing. We know how hurricanes form and develop, how various factors steer them, and what to expect from them. Our forecasting has improved tremendously, with computer simulations providing highly accurate tracks out to 36 or 48 hours. This allows emergency crews to set up and get the word out to residents and tourists. Building codes have also been stiffened in high-risk areas, reducing property damage and providing better shelter for those who dare to ride them out. These factors are largely responsible for the declining death totals due to these huge storms. But man may as well be a mouse when it comes to controlling them. The forces that cause and sustain hurricanes are so massive that nothing man can do has any serious effect on their strength or destination. In reality, we just have to take whatever the storm brings. How humbling. We gain some perspective when we read the words from Job 36, 26, 33. Behold, God is great, and we do not know him. For he draws up drops of water, which distill as rain from the mist, which the clouds drop down and pour abundantly on man. Indeed, can anyone understand the spreading of clouds, the thunder from his canopy? Look, he scatters his light upon it, and covers the depths of the sea. For by these he judges the peoples. He gives food in abundance. He covers his hands with lightning and commands it to strike.
Okay, so what's happening is by Saturday they got this perfect storm coming together, and they pretty much evacuating Jerusalem and that area of Tel Aviv. Bad storm supposed to be coming, a hurricane. I think he said 160 something, 70 some mile an hour winds. Keep an eye on that. Okay. Anybody have any comments on that?
Shalom. I was just wondering what kind of weather they have been having prior to this hurricane or this enormous thing that's going to be coming up on Saturday. I mean, have they had a lot of bad weather prior to this war that they have, or everything
No,
been?
it's been good. No, it's been good weather. Which they had over and around what's the place? Saudi Arabia. I think they had some a lot of rain, but not around Tel Aviv or Jerusalem. But all of a sudden, they got this, like he was saying, two storms coming together to bring about a so-called perfect storm. And so they advising everybody to leave that area, evacuate.
Being that they're going to evacuate the places, that they could go to, or more towards where they're trying to closer to the border of where they're fighting these people, or throwing bombs to. They're going away from it, going another area.
They're getting on planes. They're getting on planes.
Oh wow!
We're urging them to evacuate from the land, that region.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We got some need to know information right here. I'm quite sure people should be expecting this, but
between 1910 and 1970,
Yeah, notice another thing on that video we just played. All of a sudden now, they calling them Israelites. I don't know if anybody caught that. All of a sudden now they're saying Israelites. But that's something. So here we go.
Americans found New York an attractive destination for its employment opportunities. It was a booming industrial city offering numerous job opportunities not available in the southern states. Even more, Harlem became a cultural mecca during the Harlem Renaissance, a period of vibrant African-American cultural expression in the 1920s and 1930s. This cultural movement included advancements in literature, art, and music while building a social environment that celebrated African-American heritage and creativity. Today, however, New York is experiencing a reverse migration. A growing number of Black New Yorkers, like the rest of the residents, face an array of multidimensional factors motivating them to leave the Empire State, but the challenges facing African Americans are more pronounced. The growing cost of living, overcrowding, failing infrastructure, and high crime rates are drivers that's forcing people to move. In this Black Excellus exclusive, we will explore the 5 states that Black New Yorkers are moving to and the reasons why. So without further ado, let's get started. Over 90,000 Black New Yorkers have made the move to the Sunshine State over the past decade in pursuit of year-round warm climate, resort-style living, and opportunities for a higher quality of life at a lower cost of living. Florida's statewide annual average temperature is a little over 72 degrees, which is a stark contrast to New York's harsh, long winters. The beautiful beaches, outdoor activities, and medical facilities are all conducive to a relaxed lifestyle that many Black New Yorkers long for, especially those approaching retirement age. Overall, Florida is a much cheaper place to live and offers more affordable housing.
If you're fine.
And transportation costs. Florida's economy has also been growing steadily and offers diverse job opportunities in sectors such as tourism, healthcare, technology, and finance. The state's business-friendly tax structure and its growth in various industries, including technology, have made it an attractive place for entrepreneurs and small business owners from up north, as well as job seekers. Moreover, Florida is also one of the few states in the U.S. with no state income tax, and tax advantages are further amplified by the relatively lower property taxes compared to New York. Last decade, more than 70,000 Black New Yorkers relocated next door to New Jersey for a quieter, more relaxed lifestyle. New Jersey provides a respite from the constant bustle of New York City with its quieter neighborhood and lower crime rates. What makes New Jersey a more compelling option is that it offers a more affordable cost of living compared to New York City. This includes significantly lower housing costs and rents, since the cost per square foot are considerably cheaper in areas like Jersey City compared to New York. New Jersey also has a more favorable tax environment than New York. For example, New Jersey's sales tax is lower, and it exempts clothing from sales taxes. And for those who are holding down a job in New York City, the transportation links between Jersey and New York provide a viable option for those who work in the city but seek a less hectic lifestyle. The PATH train and other public transit options provide efficient cross-state connectivity at a lower cost than New York City's subway system. Georgia is known for its more relaxed, southern pace of life compared to New York's high-intensity environment. This is the reason why more than 67,000 New Yorkers relocated to the Peach State over the past decade. Georgia offers a blend of urban and suburban lifestyles with ample green spaces, less congestion, and a lower population density. This lifestyle is particularly appealing to Black New Yorkers looking for a balance between city amenities and a comfortable living environment. Many Black New Yorkers migrate down to Atlanta and parts of Georgia because they find it particularly important to return to one's roots or to facilitate closer physical proximity to extended family members who still reside in the area. Atlanta is often referred to as the Black Mecca, and it offers a vibrant atmosphere with numerous cultural events, festivals, and celebrations. Georgia's job market is strong and steadily growing. Plenty of opportunities exist in various industries such as technology, healthcare, logistics, and film production. Atlanta, in particular, has emerged as a major hub for Black businesses and innovation hubs that support Black startups and Black small businesses. Close to 64,000 New Yorkers have relocated a little south to the state of Pennsylvania since it offers lower housing and living costs compared to New York, which is especially appealing to those looking to stretch their financial resources. Many individuals and New York families are moving from the highly urbanized and crowded New York City to quieter, more spacious areas in Pennsylvania. This trend includes a movement towards suburban areas where people can enjoy larger homes. Employment opportunities also play a role, with Pennsylvania offering a robust job market in several industries. This economic incentive is coupled with the state's strategic location, providing relatively easy access for New Yorkers to relocate. Additionally, the desire for a better quality of life, including safety, access to good schools, and community amenities, has drawn New Yorkers to Pennsylvania. This migration trend reflects a broader desire among many urban dwellers to find balance between city living and the benefits of suburban life. Virginia has been an attractive option for New Yorkers looking for new opportunities, a slower pace of life, and a more manageable cost of living. In fact, close to 41,000 New Yorkers have relocated to the Old Dominion state over the past 10 years. Virginia offers numerous and diverse job prospects, especially in tech, defense, and government sectors due to its proximity to Washington, D.C. Virginia is known for its high quality of life, which includes access to excellent education and healthcare systems. The state's public schools are highly ranked, their universities are top tier, and Virginia hosts a number of highly regarded hospitals and healthcare facilities. Virginia offers a wealth of natural beauty and outdoor activities with landscapes ranging from the Appalachian Mountains to the coastal areas along the Atlantic Ocean. While not the cheapest state, Virginia generally offers a more affordable cost of living compared to New York, especially in terms of housing. Virginia's growing diversity also makes it an appealing destination for individuals from varied cultural backgrounds.
Okay, so as you can see, a lot of hosts got the Edomite on the move, and he also got us on the move. Positioning everybody where you want them at. Anybody have any comments on that? Okay, so we'll open it up for some Q&A. Questions and comments. Anybody got anything they want to bring up, talk about, or they came across, or they heard? They want to talk about it. Okay. Yeah. So while I was setting up the class, I noticed that they got a Zoom going on. I think it's a Zoom, but it's a live through African Diaspora is going on right now. It's the UN Civil Rights Chief is calling for all the Western countries to act on slavery reparations. If you just noticed, we did. The UN came out and voiced their opinion on that a couple of weeks ago, but as we speak, they're having a meeting pertaining to what the UN chief is telling all the Western countries they need to do as far as slave reparations. They need to act on it instead of talking about it. So probably check that out when I get off here. But I just want to let everybody know that. So I got one more thing. I guess a woman coming. Let me play this. Okay.
If you really want to be a CEO, want to be an entrepreneur, you should take the first step.
I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but
currently, there are over 32,000 known near asteroids and more than 120 known short-period near-Earth comets. Each of these space objects has the ability to cause untold havoc on a local level, with some capable of releasing enough destructive energy to bring the Earth to a complete stop. According to NASA's Center for Near-Earth Object Studies, the majority of these asteroids will not approach Earth for at least several hundred years. However, there is one asteroid hurtling through space that NASA estimates has an update that would strike Earth this year. Which dangerous asteroid is coming our way to wreak havoc? Do we have a slim chance of escaping or surviving it? Asteroid 2007 FT3, a potential threat. Asteroid 2007 FT3 is currently in Earth's orbit and could make a direct hit this year. This is not the first time that NASA has found an asteroid approaching Earth. But could this be the last? More than 120 near-Earth comets with short periods and over 32,000 asteroids are known to exist at this time. In the absence of effective mitigation measures, each of these space objects poses a threat to Earth. Among these recognized asteroids, the majority are monitored by NASA's Center for Near Object Studies. This asteroid, 2007 FT3, might hit Earth as early as October 2024, according to NASA's Space Agency's branch. First discovered in 2007 and named 2007 FT3, scientists eventually determined that the object was an asteroid. However, they could no longer follow its trajectory after the asteroid's brief observation arc of just 1-2 days. Scientists were unable to recover it. No matter how precise their observations were, worryingly, no one has seen it since then, until now. NASA scientists estimate that this asteroid, 2007 FT3, has probably now found its way back to Earth. NASA suggests that 2007 FT3 has a probability of, say, 87%, or 1 in 11.5 million chances of striking Earth in October 2024. However, there is another possibility of it striking Earth sooner this month, with the probability standing at, say, 96%, or 1 in 10 million. In both cases, the asteroid has the potential to release the energy equivalent to the detonation of 26 billion tons of TNT.
So here we go again. Like I said before, from my observation of that, it's like the crying wolf. They keep on bringing this up and keep coming back around and coming around, and then finally they're gonna do it. So nobody really, they don't take it serious. But I went through that before, showing you how this, what we're looking at right here, what we're listening to is on the money. They're showing you on the money the $100 bill where the incinerator device is going to hit the Atlantic, going to be exploded in the Atlantic, cause a tsunami, and it's going to wipe out all the East Coast. It's on the money. So, like I said, they doing one thing with one hand and something else with the other hand. Okay. Any comments?
Shalom. So they're predicting this asteroid will fall into the Atlantic and make an abyss and wipe away the, you said the East Coast. And, but how would they, they said this is like everyone should start evacuating to the Middle East, West, or the Midwest, or are they just saying it to get people to look elsewhere, and they're doing something, they got something else going on versus this asteroid? Because if it takes away the East Coast and flood it or whatever it does, put it into the sea, then what happens to the the rest of the continent? I know they had a prediction. There was a prediction back in '78 that was saying that 20 something, I can't remember exactly when, that all the north, this continent, the west coast and the east coast is going to fall into the sea. And I can remember I think I was in the 7th grade then, and they were talking about how the Earth, the continent, how it is going to fall off into the sea, and you know. But now they're saying this asteroid's going to come and wipe away the East Coast. Would it do anything to the eastern part? I mean, Europe and everything, because this it's in the middle of the Atlantic. You know, it's not going to harm the other continent that's bordering the Atlantic.
It's a scenario that's been had in place. It's about when you understand what Daniel was telling us about the the fourth beast has the ability to transform itself in 10 different, transform itself. The first three beasts came, they rose in one place, fell in the same place. But Esau, when you understand who the fourth beast is Esau, and he realized how to rule in one place, pack his bags, and go to another place. So we seen that through. It started in Rome, and now nobody sees no evidence of Rome ruling today, but Rome's still ruling. And the reason they don't see no evidence of it because of the beast is moving around. He went from Rome to over to France with Charlemagne. That's why it says he had 10 heads. The fourth beast got 10 heads, 7 heads, and 10 crowns on his head. So he went from Charlemagne, then he ended up over in Turkey with the Byzantine Empire, came back to the British Empire, then it branched out from them, came to America, which is the ninth. We're dealing with America now. Now we see they bring China on the scene. So they have to, it's like a Frankenstein monster. They created the Frankenstein monster, which is America. Now they're ready to relocate somewhere because they don't need it no more. So they got to do something with it. So they're going to bring this, make it look like it's natural disasters, but they doing it. They're going to, it's no difference than a comet hitting the ocean and the explosion or the speed from the comet hitting the ocean causing a tsunami, then them setting off an incinerator device, a nuclear device in the ocean. It's going to cause the water to displace too. They want this place to go, America to go because of where they headed. They through with this place. They did the same thing with France. They bought all the armies and cut off Napoleon and cut him off. They was through with they was through with the French, and so now they're through with this place. So they gotta find a way to destroy it. That's the way they're gonna destroy it. And you say the population of the people, not only Israelites, but the whole world, they dumbed down. They're not, they ain't paying no attention to that. Only reason I'm saying it is because of what the Creator, Lord Olson, gave me. And it's just for those who have ears to hear and eyes to see. But average person, they ain't paying no attention to this. They can care less. They don't understand that what goes up going to eventually come back down. So America rose, it's going to come back down, but they living and existing as if not paying attention to history or the way that things operate. They think this place is going to be here forever, but it's going to go down. And they didn't already showed you how it's going to go down on the money. They had the World Trade Center, the World Trade Center bombing on the money. They had Oklahoma City bombing on the money. And they got this on the money. It's showing when if you go check that out, it's you see how they folded the $100 bill a certain type of way, and it shows you an incinerator device going down in the water. And then you turn it over, and it's water going over the buildings, and the buildings that the water is going over is in New York. And so, like I said, these are all supposed to be conspiracy theories and all that. That's how they got people brainwashed. Just like with JC. You tell them JC don't exist, you know, they don't give a damn. They can care less. Same thing with this. They have no idea. But these people been had this plan.
Shalom. Yes, sir. When you mentioned about the $100 bill, they also, when the Twin Towers went down, if you fold the $20 bill, it shows that the two towers on fire.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you're right.
That's not a coincidence.
No, sir. It's all in design, but
Right.
it's just the ones that they're putting in place to orchestrate what's going to happen, and having no, I'll say the boulets speaking and keeping them guarded, gatekeeping the information that is need to be spreaded out. But again, like you said, it's for the eyes to see and the ears to hear, to gravitate on the Most High's coming.
Exactly. Anybody else got anything on that? I got this right here. Play this, then we'll start reading.
Other infectious disease. That is exactly what we need here in the United States. I know. But which disease is this? How infectious is this? And how is this going to impact the people? Well, let's address this. Because over the past handful of months, I've been somewhat concerned. And the reason why is because it almost feels like we've had flashbacks. Think about this for a second. Do me a favor and hit that like button if you've seen this exact same thing. Because remember, we've had different, infectious diseases. We've had different, outbreaks. For example, measles, COVID, the H1N1, and now tuberculosis. These are all things we've been warned about. This is exactly what happened back in 2020. Think about it. The city of Long Beach is actually telling people to quarantine. That's exactly what happened in 2020. You know what also happened in 2020? People were protesting. They were protesting a lockdown. You know what they're doing now? They're protesting again. Not a lockdown. They're protesting a war, but again, flashbacks. We got protests, we got potential quarantine, and we got infectious diseases. Now, it's getting scary. Let's look into this. It says, a California city declares a public health emergency after tuberculosis sickens 14. Now, I want to touch on this for a second because one of the things that many experts were highly concerned with was tuberculosis from migrants. That's what we are now getting, okay? Because, and I want to bring this to your attention, tuberculosis is not as infectious as, let's say, COVID or the common cold. It's just not. In order to contract tuberculosis from an infected person, you have to have prolonged contact with said person. This means the people that are most at risk are if you are a coworker of somebody that is infected, you are a classmate of somebody that's infected, you are a family member or a cohabitant of somebody that is infected, or you are homeless, or you are a migrant living in a migrant shelter. That's what they're telling us, okay? It says, a tuberculosis outbreak in Long Beach comes amid a national rise in cases. Cases have actually increased over the past handful of years. I want to read you some stuff, okay? Okay, let's look at this. Let's look at some of the numbers really quick. It says 9 tuberculosis patients have been hospitalized and 1 has died, according to the health department. As of Monday, about 175 people had been exposed to tuberculosis as a result of the outbreak. Now, you're probably thinking, 175 people is not that much, and it isn't. But the fact of the matter is this, it's been rising. Just look at this number right here. It says, the outbreak was reported amid a national rise in tuberculosis cases, which have increased since 2020 after 27 years of decline. The U.S. recorded 9,615 active infections last year, a 16% increase over the previous year. Now, I want to actually show you this chart, though. It goes from 2000 to 2023. Look at this. It says tuberculosis ticking up. The number of tuberculosis cases per 100,000 people has increased each year since 2020. Okay, 5.8. So that would be 5.8 million, right? Number of per 100,000. Now we're at 2.9. So we're about half, okay? Or well, exactly half, right? So again, it's going down from 2000, but from 2020 we're at 2.2. Now we're at 2.9. So a little bit of a problem. I want to read you something else though. Look at this. It says, people experiencing homelessness have a higher risk of tuberculosis for several reasons, including substance use, which can weaken the immune system, and living in crowded conditions where it is more likely to spread. Underlying health problems such as diabetes, cancer, and HIV also make it harder to fight off tuberculosis infections. Here's a quote. It says, living in poverty, not having good access to nutrition, not having access to sunlight and fresh air, all these are things that are going to make it easier for TB to spread and take advantage of vulnerable people. Now,
so let's look at that. So, let me get it. So let's look at that. So, like I was saying before, while we sitting around sleeping and shopping and whatever you want to call it, these people started plotting and scheming. So you don't think that's a coincidence that this disease, where it's rising up from, what conditions is that causes the rise up through the migrants? So you got to go back and go back to when Americans came here, the people came in from Great Britain, when they fled from there, from Europe, coming over here, Esau was already here. If you go back to the story when George Washington got in trouble at the Revolutionary War, ran out of money and supplies, he went to the Jews, which was Edomites. They're still in the same places today, Boston, Massachusetts, all of that area. Philadelphia, Boston, they're still there. So they was already here. That's who the 13 colonies was. Remember, Spain sent the 3 ships out, Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria, from Spain. That's what Edomites was sent to in 70 AD. Herod lineage was sent to Spain. Anyway, those people been here all this time. So what did they do? They told us in the history books, when they came into the Indian, they brought the diseases that they knew they was immune, that they couldn't deal with. They had them in blankets. They brought them diseases in blankets, wrapped up in blankets, and then passed the blankets out to the Indians. Now you can't even hardly find an Indian. So you think there's a coincidence right there that they're popping up where the migrants at? Could that be why they brought them here? To use the excuse, one of the excuses. And another thing I was showing you earlier, we was talking about the video previous to this one, about how, lost my train of thought. Yeah. So where is the southern cities at? The population, when you look at the population of blacks, they all strolled out along the East Coast, all around the southern states, where all the blacks hit. That's where the tsunami comes, where the blacks hit. And then another thing to think about, it's prophesied that we're supposed to be leaving here on ships. So how? In the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah, so those things that the average person don't even think about, but they plotting on all that. Like I said, they're actually trying to, as we speak, they know who's coming back in the sky. They know it ain't JC. They know it's the Lord of hosts. And so they already got stuff set up you know, space systems and all that, thinking they're gonna fight against the Creator, fight against the angels, fight against the Lord of hosts. They're that ignorant. So they actually thinking that they can divert the prophecy by, you know, they're gonna shut down the East Coast or where it can't be no ships leave. So just let that ferment. It's not a coincidence. Okay? There's something. So
yes, sir.
anybody have any comments on that question?
Well, as far as the Shalom, as far as the TB, as they were speaking on it, and as you were talking, something came to mind. Is that's one of the silent weapons that they could actually put out there, because it's been dated back way further than what they're saying right now. And like you said, over on the eastern part of the world, they brought it over here to the western part of the world, and that's one of their weapons. By, like you said, putting it in blankets and distributing it out to the people who was unaware of what this disease was or this illness was. So again, to be mindful, and they're bringing it up now out of all the other things that's going on in this world, all other diseases like the COVID and all the other things that's happening. Now they're talking about the TB.
Right.
And it's like 10 out of 80 will get it, but then crowded places like they have over there at the border right now. If it's so crowded, then they can spread easier with crowded places and having people not malnutrition and not having the right foods and stuff like that, like they were saying.
Right.
Something to look out for. And then now they're going to be testing people. They always test them with the little pricks and things like that, but I wonder if they're really going to get into the testing and doing things, or they're just going to let people receive it and see how many people fall off.
Exactly. Right. So I want to go to a scripture that, like I said, a lot of people, I mean, he tells us to, to search the scriptures out, especially in these last days, and to find him, and not only that, for you to line out and understand what you need to be doing and when. So if you go back to, we know it's going to be a remnant. All Israelites ain't, going to make it out. Just like we saw when they came out of Egypt. By the time they got to the land of Canaan, because of their stiff-neckedness, it was so many of them that had been done away with, deleted, what they call it. So we go to Jeremiah 24. We always dealing with this, the good and the bad fig. So when you get to verse 3, Jeremiah says, then said the Lord unto me, well, see it, darling. Jeremiah said, figs, good figs, very good figs, and evil, very evil. They cannot be eaten. They are so evil. And this is what the Lord said. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, thus said the Lord God of Israel, like these good figs, so will I acknowledge them that are carried away of Judah, whom I have sent out of this place into the land of the Chaldeans for their good. Then 6, for I will set my eyes upon them for good, and I will bring them again to their land, and I will build them, and I pull them down, and I will plant them and not pluck them up. Now here we go. We see what's going on in the world right now, right? And I will give them a heart to know me that I am the Lord, to know that I am the Lord, and they shall be my people, and I will be their God, and they shall return unto me with their whole heart. Now here we go. The wicked fig, like I said, they don't have ears to hear, don't have eyes to see. So it says, and as the evil fig, which cannot be eaten, they are so evil. Surely thus said the Lord, so will I give Zedekiah, the king of Judah, his princes, and the residue of Jerusalem that remain in this land, and them that are dwell in the land of Egypt. So 9, I will deliver them until be removed into the kingdoms of the earth for their hurt, to be a reproach and a proverb and a curse. And in all places where I shall drive them. Now here you go right here. I will send a sword, famine, pestilence. That's what diseases is. Pestilence, right? The jab and tuberculosis, right? So pestilence among them till they be consumed from off the land that I gave unto them and to their fathers. So same thing now. So this right here was when you apply this when we was in the land and to get us out of the land. So he got to do the same thing to get us from where we at, to back in the land. So he's gonna do righteous, the good feed, the remnant. He's gonna bring them back to the land. But the evil feed that don't have no ears to hear, no eyes to see, that don't care about the things of the Most High, he's gonna deal with them right there where they at. Like I said in verse 10, I will send a sword, famine, pestilence among them till they be consumed from off the face of the earth, off the face of the land that I gave unto them and to their fathers. So they never knew under the sun. So what you see unfolding, the same thing that he always did. Didn't he bring famine and pestilence and the sword on Egypt? He brought it on Chaldeans.
Yes, sir.
So we look at the same thing. You just gotta have eyes to see and ears to hear. And you're not going, like I said, if you're not in his word, you ain't seeking him or seeking no understanding from him or spending no time trying to commune with him, they don't see none of this. Like I said, people don't see none of this. When you start talking about an asteroid and all that, they think you're a nut bucket. But everything is right there. Like I said, it's on the money. Why would these people go out their way to spend that much money? You know how much money it takes to print that on the dollar bill, on the money, and then fold the money a certain type of way, and there it is. It took a lot of money and a lot of effort to do that. You think they're just doing that for the hell of it? But what I'm showing you is that who's behind it? The hand of the Lord behind it. Okay? Any comments? And we see the same thing in Deuteronomy 28. You're doing the same thing in Deuteronomy 28.
Shalom. So would the prayer be for like in Psalms 91, it reads, he that dwelt in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadows of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my fortress, my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him I will trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snares and fowls and from the nuisance pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid of terror by night, nor the arrow that flee by day, nor the pestilence that walk in the darkness, nor the destructions that waste in noonday. And it goes on. So, like you said, the eyes that's open and the eyes that sees and the ears that hear. We trust in what is being written and said by the Most High, that we won't have that ignorance on us like the others that's not looking or hearing what's going to happen. We read about what's happening and how things are nowadays. We're just seeing it unfold again. Is that something one can say about Psalms 91 versus what's going on today?
Exactly. He says we saw in Ezra when it was time for them to leave. Jeremiah prophesied they was going to be there 70 years. At the 70-year point, we read in Ezra that it says that those whose spirits he raised, all of them spirit wasn't raised. So what do that mean? Those whose spirit he raised, those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, that was tuned in. That's the ones that left. That's the ones that came back. So the same thing right here. Those are remnant. The remnant is those who antennas went up. They adhered to the spirit when the Most High pulled it out, and they started seeking Him, and they started coming together, communing with like-minded people, and searching the scriptures out to get the truth. Yeah. So yeah, all that tied together. So like I said, you got people that, the Most High done pulled the spirit out. We know that, but it ain't affected them. Yeah, they could care less. So it's repercussions to that, ramifications. But you can't tell them that. They're gonna wait till the last minute. Going by what JC said, thinking they're gonna be able to repent at the last minute and they'll be good, but that ain't how it works. Like I said, he woke us up. He started waking up his priests and his people around the first of this century, around 99 and 2000. 1995 and up in there, because it's time. It takes time to it's like a fruit ripening. So now that those people he woke up, they right where he want them to be at, because now is the time.
Shalom. And when you mentioned about the ones who believe in JC would say when it happens or it's happening, they can repent. It seemed I got a picture of the Noah Ark. It wasn't built in a day or anything like that. It was about like 5 years took them to build it. But people still did not adhere to what he was saying. And then the time came when the water rose and the rain fell. They were bamming and trying to get in. That's today. They're not, it's like you said, it started back waking us up, a while ago. And as he gathers all that knows, all of his ones who want to and that are his people, then we will know.
Exactly. Right. So it was actually 120 years. We was reading that last night. 120 years he gave them, and they weren't trying to heed. So like I said, there's nothing new under the sun. So the same thing going on now. The time is running out. He already pulled his spirit out, and his knowledge been increased. It's here, but it's just that it's rolling off the average person like water on a duck back. So after 120 years from when you look at the flood story, not one person responded. So go back to the remnant. So you can't be expecting a whole truckload of people now, because he didn't get no response after 120 years of Noah, Methuselah, Shem prophesying to the people. They didn't get one person got on the boat. So that's your plumb line right there. So anyway, anybody else got any comments on that? Okay, like I said, we're going to read out of the book of Lamentations. Try to read the whole thing. It's only 5 chapters. So if somebody want to start reading, we can start reading, try to get through this book. Anybody want to volunteer to read chapter 1?
Shalom. Yes, sir. I'll read chapter 1. Lamentations, chapter 1. How doeth the city... No, am I in Lamentations? Hold on.
Right.
I'm sorry. Yes, Lamentations chapter 1. How doeth the city sit solitary, that was full of people? How is she become as a widow? She that was great among the nations and princes among the province. How is she become tributary? She weepeth sore in the night, and her tears are on her cheeks. Among all her lovers she had none to comfort her. All her friends have dealt treacherously with her. They are become her enemies. 3.
Okay,
Judah
hold up right there. Hold up right there. So I want to shine light on something. So right here, I was telling you that it's you would think people would know this, but they don't. So the Most High, the Lord of hosts, is married to the nation of Israel. The nation of Israel is his woman. That's where the she come from. So this is the actual woman right here. But you the verse you just reading, it says, how do the city sit solitary that was full of people? How is she? See, so we know right here, this in the Old Testament, this is the real woman. But it's a harlot, it's a whore, and that's now the most High ran, then divorced this woman and scattered her. But it's a harlot there, posing as a woman. So you have to understand that part of it. Where is she coming from? Okay, go ahead.
verse 3. Judah is gone into captivity because of affliction and because of great servitude. She dwelt among the heathen. She findeth no rest. All her persecutors overtook her between the straits. The ways of Zion do mourn, because none come to the solemn feast. All her gates are desolate. Her priests sigh. Her virgins are afflicted, and she is in bitterness. Her adversaries are the chief. Her enemies prosper, for the Lord hath afflicted her for the multitude of her transgressions. Her children are gone into captivity before the enemy, and from the daughter of Zion all her beauty is departed. Her princes are become like harts that find no pasture, and they are gone without strength before the pursuer. 7. Jerusalem remembered in the days of her affliction and of her miseries all her pleasant things that she had in the days of old, when her people fell into the land of the enemy, and none did help her. The adversary saw her and did mock at her Sabbaths. Jerusalem hath grievously sinned. Therefore she is removed. All that honored her despise her, because they have seen her nakedness. Yea, she sigheth and turneth backwards. Her filthiness is in her skirts. She remembered it, not her last end. Therefore she came down wonderfully. She had no comforter. O Lord, behold my affliction, for the enemy had magnified himself. The adversary had spread out his hands upon all her pleasant things, for she had seen that the heathen entered into her sanctuary, whom thou didst command that they should not enter into thy congregation. All
Okay,
her people.
So right here, what you're looking at is Psalms 83. What you reading right here is Psalms 83. When it says that the nations got together and made Israel no more remembrance. You see all that right here. What you read in verse 9. Her filthiness is in her skirt. She remembered not her last end. That's what it says in Psalms 83. It calls her not to remember who they were. Therefore, she came down wonderfully, and she had no comforter. Oh Lord, behold my affliction. So we see right here who it is that's being afflicted. Go to Psalms 83. Psalm 53. So we see who's being afflicted, right? For the enemy have magnified himself. The adversary, they all in Psalms 83, have spread out his hand upon all her pleasant things, and she have seen, and she have seen that the heathen entered into. That's Obadiah. Esau, whom thou didst command that they should not enter into the congregation. So when Zerubbabel and Joshua and them came back, remember Esau asked them, told them, we're going to help you build the temple. And they said, no, right here, he's telling you that. They should say, they had say, whom thou did command that they should not enter into the congregation. So you see all of it right here. Go ahead.
Lamentations chapter 1, verse 11. All her people sigh, they seek bread. They have given their pleasant things for meat to relieve the soul. See, O Lord, and consider, for I am become vile. It is nothing to you, all ye that pass by. Behold and see, if there be any sorrow like unto my sorrow, which is done unto me, wherewith the Lord had afflicted me in the day of his fierce anger. From above hath he sent fire into my bones, and it prevaileth against them. He had spread a net for my feet. He had turned me back. He had made me desolate and faint all the day. 14. The yoke of my transgressions is bound by his hand. There are wreath and come up upon my neck. He had made my strength to fall. The Lord had delivered me into their hands, from whom I am not able to rise up. The Lord had trodden under foot all my mighty men in the midst of me. He hath called an assembly against me to crush my young men. The Lord hath trodden the virgin, the daughter of Judah, as in a winepress. For these things I weep, mine eye runneth down with water, because the comforter that should relieve my soul is far from me. My children are desolate, because the enemy prevailed. Zion spreadeth forth her hands, and there is none to comfort her. The Lord hath command concerning Jacob, that his adversaries should be round about him. Jerusalem is as a minstrel's woman among them. The Lord is righteous. I have rebelled against his commandment. Hear, I pray you, all people, and behold my sorrow. My virgins and my young men are gone into captivity. I called for my lovers, but they deceived me. My priests and my elders gave up the ghost in the city, while they sought their meat to relieve their souls. 20. Behold, O Lord, for I am in distress. My bowels are troubled. My heart is turned within me. For I have grievously rebelled. Abroad the sword breatheth at home. There is as death. They have heard that I sigh. There is none to comfort me. All my enemies have heard of my trouble. They are glad that thou hast done it. Thou wilt bring the day that thou hast called, and they shall be like unto me. Let all their wickedness come before thee, and do unto them as thou hast done unto me, for all my transgressions. For my sighs are many, and my heart is faint. That was Lamentations chapter 1.
So you can see right here, this is Obadiah, it's Psalms 83, it's Isaiah 53. You can see it. You can see it right here. Once you start connecting the dots, you can see it. So like I said, it says in verse 20, behold, O Lord, for I am distressed, my bowels are troubled, my heart is turning within me, for I have grievously rebelled abroad, and the sword bereaved at the home. So we can see that this is right in concert with Isaiah 53. We see who it is that's being afflicted. It's the Israel being afflicted. And like he said, it's a grievous wound. And he said that nobody can heal it. And we see all that right here. And so give you the history on Lamentations, or it means the word lament is in Lamentations. So lamentation means that when it comes to Israel, as long as they're in their homeland, they're good. Then as soon as the Most High kick them out of their homeland and make everything uncomfortable for them, they start lamenting. But what these people have done right here with this, it's more than one lamentation. So they put this behind the book of Jeremiah to make you think that this is the lamentation when they left Israel. I mean, when they left when Nebuchadnezzar came. If you know anything about this, or you know, been dealing with it, they'll tell you even in the church that this is when they left Babylon. They left Israel and went to Babylon, that they was lamented. But they telling you that because they don't want you to they didn't took out the story of what happened with Antiochus. This is when Israel was done away with, the calamity that Obadiah is talking about, when the calamity came upon them. Let me read a little bit of it real quick. It ain't gonna take that long. You go to Obadiah right quick, and it says, let me get it. Obadiah, it says, start at verse 10, and it says, for the violence against thy brother, Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off ever. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, this Esau, what he did. In the day he stood on the other side, in the day that strangers carried away captive his forces. It's the Greeks. Foreigners entered into his gates, cast lots for upon Jerusalem. Even thou was one of them. So they didn't do this when Nebuchadnezzar came, because we know the wicked fig was still there. But right here, when Antiochus came, it tells you in the book of First Maccabees, none, he ran them all out. None remained. The whole house of Jacob was shamed. This right here. This the Lamentations right here. They got in here, but they put it behind Jeremiah to make you think this happened after they left Babylon, when they went to enter Babylon. But we're gonna see in chapter 2 that it's not so. But it says right here, verse 12, but thou should not have entered in the day of my brother, in the day that he became a stranger. That's when Antiochus came. Neither should thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. That is when his indignation came to a full. Neither should thou have spoken proudly in the day of their distress. Thou should not have entered into the gates of my people in the day of their calamity. So that's the calamity that's being revealed right here in Lamentations 1. If you go to 19, I called all my lovers, but they deceived me. My priests and my elders gave up the ghosts in the city while they sought their meat to relieve their souls. So we're in the same predicament right now. He calling, he poured the spirit out on them, but they say they looking after worldly things to appease their soul, appease their flesh. They ain't hearing, and they don't have ears to hear and eyes to see. Then 20, behold, O Lord, for I am in distress. My bowels are troubled. My heart is turned within me, for I have grievously rebelled abroad, and the sword bereaved at the home. There is as death. They have heard that I sigh. There is none to comfort me. All my enemies have heard of my trouble, and they are glad. This is when Antiochus came. That thou hast done it. That thou will bring the day of their calamity, that thou hast called. He spoke about, and they shall be likened unto me. Let all their wickedness come before thee, and do unto them as thou hast done unto me. For all my transgressions, my sighs are many, and my heart is faint. So, like he said, when I called, you ain't hear me. Now they try to call him, but he ain't trying to hear you. So, like I said before, it's more than one Lamentations. So, like I told you, it's more than one day of the Lord. So, we're going to see right here in verse chapter 2 that this is not when Nebuchadnezzar came. I'll read chapter 2. So it says, how hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger? Right here. This is what Daniel told him. The Lord's anger is going to come to an end. His indignation is going to come to a full. It's right here. And cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel. That's what Antiochus did. And remembered not his foolishness, his footstool in the day of his anger. The Lord hath swallowed up. See that? He didn't swallow up them when Nebuchadnezzar came. The Lord hath swallowed up all the habitation of Judah and have not pitied. He pitied when Nebuchadnezzar came. He hath thrown down in his wrath the stronghold of the daughter of Judah. He hath brought them down to the ground. He hath polluted the kingdom and the princes thereof. He hath cut off in his fierce anger all the horn of Israel. He hath drawn back his right hand from before the enemy, and he burned against Jacob like a flaming fire which devours round about. He hath bent his bow like an enemy. He stood with his right hand as an adversary and slew all that were pleasant to the eye in the tabernacle of the daughter of Zion. He poured out his fury like fire. The Lord was as an enemy. He hath swallowed up Israel. He hath swallowed up all her palaces. He hath destroyed his stronghold. He hath increased in the daughter of Judah mourning and lamentation. They go to lamentation right there. He hath violently, see that, taken away his tabernacle, as if it were a garden. He hath destroyed his places of the assembly. The Lord hath caused the solemn feast and the Sabbath to be forgotten in Zion. He hath despised, he go, in the indignation of his anger. That's what Daniel told you. The Lord's indignation gonna come to a full. Anger the king and the priest. The Lord hath cast off his altar. He hath abhorred his sanctuary. He hath given up into the hands of the enemy the walls of her palaces. They have made a noise in the house of the Lord as in the day of solemn feast. The Lord hath proposed to destroy the wall of the daughter of Zion. He hath stretched out a line. He hath not withdrawn his hand from destroying. Therefore he made the ramparts and the wall to lament. They languish together. Now here you go right here. So before I read verse 9, it says right here, remember when Nebuchadnezzar came and destroyed Israel, part of the wall was still there, because when they got back, when Nehemiah and them came back, that's what they was repairing. But we see right here in verse 7, 2 and 7, the Lord hath cast off his altar. He hath abhorred his sanctuary. He hath given up into the hands of the enemy the walls of her palaces. They have made a noise in the house of the Lord as in the day of a solemn feast. There you go. He's precise. The Lord hath proposed to destroy the wall of the daughter of Zion. He hath stretched out a line. He hath not withdrawn his hand from destroying. Therefore he made the ramparts and the wall to lament. He hath languished together. So he had a part of the wall still there. He withdraw his hand to a certain point with Nebuchadnezzar, but when Antiochus came, he had already told through Daniel he was going to shut the whole party down. The nation of Israel was going to come to the end. And this is the verse right here that let me know that this is not the Lamentations in Babylon. Verse 9, her gates are sunk into the ground. Ye have destroyed and broken her bars. Her king and her princes are among the Gentiles. See that? The Gentiles. We know the Gentiles are the Greeks and the Romans. The law is no more. They had the law when they went to Babylon. The law is no more. Her prophets also find no vision from the Lord. They had prophets all over the place in Babylon. We had Daniel, Ezekiel. You had Zechariah and Haggai. All of them was in Babylon. Right here, ain't no visions from the prophets. The law ain't no more. So this is when Antiochus came, right here. And the elders of the daughter of Zion sit upon the ground and keep silent. They have cast up dust upon their heads. They have girded themselves with sackcloth. The virgins of Jerusalem hang down their heads to the ground. Mine eyes do fail with tears. My bowels are troubled. My liver is poured upon the earth for the destruction of the daughter of my people, because the children and the suckling swoon in the streets of the city. They say to their mothers, where is corn and wine, when they swoon as the wounded in the streets of the city? Then their soul was poured out into their mother's bosom. What things shall I take to the witness for thee? What thing shall I liken to thee, O daughter of Jerusalem? What shall I equal to thee, that I may comfort thee, O virgin, the daughter of Zion? For the breach is great, like the sea. Who can heal thee? Who can heal thee? There you go again. It's the same wording in Isaiah 53. So he says, O virgin daughter of Zion, for thy breach, it's the womb right here, is great like the sea. Who can heal thee? Thy prophets have seen vain and foolish things for thee, and they have not discovered thy iniquity, to turn away thy captivity, but have seen for thee false burdens and causes of banishment. All that pass by clap their hands at thee, they hiss and wag their heads at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? All thy enemies have opened their mouths against thee. They hiss and gnash their teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly, this is the day that we look for. We have found. We have seen it. It's Psalms 83. The Lord hath done that which he hath devised. He hath fulfilled his word that he had commanded in the days of old, during Daniel time. He hath thrown down, he hath not pitied, and he hath caused thine enemies to rejoice over thee, and he hath set up the horn of the adversary. That's Antiochus, the Greeks. He set the horn of the adversary up. Their heart cried unto the Lord, O wall of the daughter of Zion, let tears run down like a river day and night. Give thyself no rest. Let not thy apple of thine eye cease. Arise, cry out in the night, in the beginning of the watches. Pour out thy heart like water before the face of the Lord. Lift up thine hands toward him for the life of thy young children, and the faint for hunger in the tops of every street. Behold, O Lord, and consider to whom thou hast done this. Shall the women eat their fruit, and children of a span long? Shall the priest and the prophet be slain in the sanctuary of the Lord? The young and the old lie on the ground in the streets. My virgins and my young men are fallen by the sword. Thou hast slain them in the day of thine anger. Thou hast killed and not pitied. Thou hast called, as in a solemn day, many terrors round about, so that in the day of the Lord's anger, none escape, none remain. Those that I have swallowed and brought up have my enemies consumed. So this is Antioch Epiphanies all day long. So that was Lamentations chapter 2. Okay, I'll read 3. Anybody have any questions on 2? Okay, chapter 3. I am the man that have seen affliction by the rod of his wrath. He have led me and brought me into darkness, but not into light. Surely against me is he turned. He turned his hand against me all the day. My flesh and my skin have he made old. He has broken my bones. He have builded against me and compassed me with gall and travail. He has set me in dark places, and they that be dead of old. He have hedged me about, that I cannot get out. He have made my chains heavy. Also will I cry and shout. He shutteth out my prayer. He have enclosed my ways with huge songs, and he have made my path crooked. He was unto me as a bear lying in wait, and as a lion in a secret place. He have turned aside my ways and pulled me in pieces. He have made me desolate. He has bent his bow and set me as a mark for the arrow. He has caused the arrows of his quiver to enter into my reins. I was a derision to my people, and their song all the day. He have filled me with bitterness. He have made me drunken or wormwood. He have also broken my teeth with a gravel stone. He have covered me with ashes, and thou hast removed my soul far out from peace. I forget prosperity, and I said, my strength and my hope is perished from the Lord. Remember mine affliction and my misery, the wormwood and the gall. My soul have them still in remembrance. My soul have them still in remembrance, and is humbled in me. This I recall to my mind, therefore have I hope. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassion faileth not. They are new every morning, great and faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul, therefore will I hope in him. The Lord is good unto them that wait for him, to the soul that seeketh him. It is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of the Lord. It is good for a man that he bear the yoke of his youth. He sitteth alone and keepeth silent, because he hath borne it upon him. He putteth his mouth in the dust. If so be there may be hope. He giveth his cheek to him, okay, to him that smiteth him. He is filled full with reproach. For the Lord will not cast off forever. But though he causes grief, yet will he have compassion according to the multitude of his mercy. For he doeth not afflict willingly, nor grieve the children of men, to crush under his feet all the prisoners of the earth, to turn aside the right of a man before the face of the Most High, to subvert a man in his cause. The Lord approveth not. Who is he that saith, and it cometh to pass, when the Lord commanded it not? Out of the mouth of the Most High proceedeth not evil and good. Wherefore doeth a living man complain, a man for punishment of his sin? Let us search and try our ways, and turn again to the Lord. Let us lift up our hearts with our hands unto God in the heavens. We have transgressed and have rebelled. Thou hast not pardoned. Thou hast covered with the anger and and persecuted us. Thou hast slain. Thou hast not pity. Thou hast covered thyself with a cloud, that our prayers should not pass through. Thou hast made us as the offscourging, and refused it in the midst of the people. All our enemies have opened their mouths against us. Fear and a snare is come upon us, desolation and destruction. My eye runneth down the rivers of water for the destruction of the daughter of my people. Mine eyes trickle down and ceaseth not without any intermission, till the Lord look down and behold from heaven. Mine eye affected mine heart because of all the daughters of my city. Mine enemies chase me sore like a bird without cause. They have cut off my life in the dungeon, and cast a stone upon me. Waters flowed over my head. Then I said, I am cut off. I called upon thy name, O Lord, out of the low dungeon. Thou hast heard my voice. Hide not thine ear at my breathing, at my cry. Thou drawest nigh in the day that I called upon thee. Thou saidst, fear not. O Lord, thou hast pleaded the cause of my soul. Thou hast redeemed my life. O Lord, thou hast seen my wrong, judge thou my cause. Thou hast seen all their vengeance and all their imagination against me. Thou hast heard their reproach, O Lord, and all their imagination against me. The lips of those that rose up against me and their devices against me all the day. Behold, they're sitting down and they're rising up. I am their music. Render unto them a recompense, O Lord, according to the works of their hands. Give them sorrow of heart, thy cause unto them. Persecute and destroy them in anger from under the heavens of the Lord. So that was Lamentations 3. Anybody have any comments on that? Okay, I just want to shine light on something. Let me look at it. It says, so yes, it's I'm gonna start at 31. This is an example of understanding who the Lord of hosts is and who Yahweh is. It says in 31, for the Lord, this is the Lord of hosts, will not cast out forever. But though he causes grief, yet will he have compassion according to the multitude of his mercies. For he doeth not afflict willingly, nor grieve the children of men, to crush under his feet all the prisoners of the earth. Turn aside, but check it out, right here, 35. Turn aside the right of a man before the face of the Most High. So he's talking about the Lord of hosts. So we can see right here, both of them right here. It says, start at 32 again. But though he caused grief, it's the Lord of hosts, he's the judge, the Lord of hosts. But though he cause grief, yet will he have compassion according to the multitude of his mercies. For he doeth not afflict willingly, nor grieve the children of men, because he over the children of men, to crush under his feet all the prisoners of the earth, to turn aside the right of a man before the face of the Most High. Is that friend mate? Okay. Somebody want to read chapter 4?
I will. Lamentations chapter 4. How is the gold become dim? How is the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street. The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold, how are they esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of the potter? Even the sea monsters draw out the breast. They give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people is become cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness. The tongue of the sucking child cleaveth to the roof of his mouth for thirst. The young children ask bread, and no man breaketh it unto them. They that did feed delicately are desolate in the streets. They that were brought up in scarlet embrace dunghills. For the punishment of the iniquity of the daughter of my people is greater than the punishment of the sin of Sodom, that was overthrown as in a moment, and no hand stayed on her. Her Nazarites were purer than snow. They were whiter than milk. They were more ruddy in body than rubies. Their polishing was of sapphire. Their visage was blacker than a coal. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It is withered. It is become like a stick. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. The hands of the pitiful women have sodden their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. The Lord hath accomplished his fury. He hath poured out his fierce anger, and hath kindled a fire in Zion, and it has devoured the foundations thereof. The kings of the earth and all the inhabitants of the world would not have believed that the adversary and the enemy should have entered into the gates of Jerusalem. For the sins of her prophets and the iniquities of her priests that have shed the blood of the just in the midst of her. They have wandered as blind men in the streets. They have polluted themselves with blood, so that men could not touch their garments. They cried unto them, Depart ye, it is unclean. Depart, depart, touch not. When they fled away and wandered, they said among the heathen, There shall no more sojourn there. The anger of the Lord hath divided them. He will no more regard them. They respected not the persons of the priests. They favored not the elders. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help, and our watching we have watched for a nation that could not save us. They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. The breath of our nostrils, the anointed of the Lord, was taken in their pits, of whom we said, Under his shadow we shall live among the heathen. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup shall also pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. Lamentations chapter 4.
Okay, yeah, so those last few verses, 16, 17, 18, 19, it says, the anger of the Lord have divided them. He will no more regard them. They respected not the person of the priest, and they favored not the elders. As for us, our eyes are yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. Now here you go, just take you right to Antioch Epiphanes and First Maccabees. They hunt our steps, that we cannot go into our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagle of the heavens. They pursue us upon the mountains, and they lay wait for us in the wilderness. The breath of our nostrils, the anointing of the Lord, was taken up in their pits, of whom we said, Under the shadow we shall live among the heathen. So you can go right to First Maccabees, and you'll see all that. See, they could no longer come out in the open. They had to hide, duck and dodge and hide until eventually they ran them out of the whole land of Israel, out of the city, out of Jerusalem. So in First Maccabees. Okay, anybody else have any comments on that? Somebody want to read that last chapter, or want me to read it?
Shalom. I'll read Lamentations chapter 5. Behold our reproach. Remember, O Lord, what is come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows. We have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us. Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest. We have given the land to the Egyptians and to the Assyrians to be satisfied with bread. 7. Our fathers have sinned and are not, and we have borne their iniquities. Servants have ruled over us. There is none that doeth deliver us out of their hand. We get our bread with peril of our lives because of the sword of the wilderness. Our skin was black like an oven because of the terrible famine. They ravished the women in Zion and the maids in the cities of Judah. 12. Princes are hanged up by their hand. Their faces of elders were not honored. They took the young men to grind, and the children fell under the wood. The elders have ceased from the gate, the young men from their music. The joy of our hearts is ceased. Our dance is turned into mourning. The crown is fallen from our head. Woe unto us that we have sinned. 17. For this is our heart is faint. For these things our eyes are dim. Because of the mountain of Zion, which is desolate. The foxes walk upon it. Thou, O Lord, remainest forever, thy throne from generation to generation. Wherefore doest thou forget us forever, and forsake us so long time? Turn thou us unto thee, O Lord, and we shall be turned. Renew our days of old. But thou hast utterly rejected us. Thou art very wroth against us. That was Lamentations chapter 5.
So there go your answer right there in 22. If you want to know what lamentation this is, he says, "But thou hast utterly rejected us. Thou art very wroth against us." So he didn't utterly reject them when they went to Babylon, because they came back. And then he took the women to Babylon. But right here, he's telling you he utterly rejected them. He stood with them. That's what was told Daniel. Gabriel told Daniel. Most High indignation is coming to a fool, and he's going to cast you off. That's what we're looking at right here in Lamentation. But like I said, they got you thinking that this is the Lamentation when they went to Babylon, because they want to lead you to JC, to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. But it's not. When you look at what's being said, you can see that it takes you to Antioch Epiphanes and the Greeks when they came. So, and you're never going to see it if you haven't engaged the Apocryphal books. You won't see none of this. But also, you can see up at the top in chapter 5, verse 10, our skin was black like an oven because of the terrible famine. They ravished the women in Zion and the maids in the cities of Judah. Princes were hanged up by their hand. Faces of the elders were honored. They took the young men and grind and the children of earth. So you can go to First Maccabees, the 7 boys that got killed with the mother. Anybody remember that? In First Maccabees, when they was torturing the 7 boys, each one of them, they tried to get them to eat swine, and all of them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it's all right there. So it's not Babylon, the lamentation of Babylon. It's the lamentation when they knew that their country was over with. Daniel had already told them that was going to happen, and then when it overtook them, we can see how they throwing their hands up, begging the Most High for do this and that. But he had already told them, when I called you, you ain't here. So when you call, I ain't gonna hear. That's what you're looking at right there. So with that being said, anybody have any comments before we go, or something you want to say? Okay. Okay, so with that being said, I'm gonna say shalom, another shalom. I see we'll be on Clubhouse tomorrow night, 7 to 9. Okay, shalom.